Hello, and welcome to Module 1 of the Linux Workshop. In this module, we'll learn a little bit more about the Linux Graphical User Interface, or GUI. So right now, I have my VirtualBox running, and we learned how to install this in Module 0. And this is basically, for those of you who did not watch Module 0, this is basically Ubuntu that I have running on my Mac. And so in general, when you start up a Linux system, whether it's through VirtualBox or it's its own machine, you'll come to this screen. And it will display your username, mine is Casey, and it will ask for your password. So as I enter my password, so if I enter it correctly, I'll get to this page. And this is the Graphical User Interface, or GUI, that Linux comes with, specifically Ubuntu. So your Ubuntu has this menu bar along the side, and this is where you're going to find a lot of your essentials. And we'll talk about each one of these kind of separately, but in general, what comes by default is you'll have your file manager, web browser, LibreOffice, and so these are kind of the free equivalent of Microsoft Office. They're very useful. They have a lot of the same features of Microsoft Office, and they're 100% free. This is the software store, Amazon app, and your settings. Now, these are not all the software that are on your Ubuntu system. If you want to look at all of them, you go to this top icon. Down here on the bottom, you go to this little A icon, and these are all of the applications that are installed currently on your Linux system. Okay. Now, if you want to install more things, so we go back to this Ubuntu Software Center, and here, when you open this up, it has a lot of things. A lot of softwares have been put into this repository, so you should be able to search and download a lot of useful applications. Now, of course, not all applications are going to be through this Ubuntu software repository. Some you'll have to download customly from your own websites or other websites. So to do this, we need to open up a web browser, rather. And so right now, I have this web browser pointed towards my Dropbox. And the reason being is that we're going to talk about how to download files and open them in Linux. And so I have a test file. And this particular test file contains FASTQ data, which is sequencing data, which is what we're going to be working with for the remainder of the Linux workshop. And so my file is called testfastq.gz. I'm going to go ahead and download it. And when you download using Firefox, it'll pop up and ask, do you want to save this file? Are you sure? And you say yes, I want to save it. And here you can see how far along your file is. So I have about 6 seconds. 1 second. And now my file is downloaded. So I can minimize this for now. Oh, I may have X'd out of it, but that's okay. Now I want to go to my file manager, which is the icon here that looks like a little file cabinet. So I want to click on that. And so this is, right now it comes up to your default, your home directory. Now in your home directory you have several other directories or files, folders. One is desktop, and you can see all of your files that are on your desktop. If I click on that, I'll see it's empty. As you can see, I have no files on my desktop currently. But we want to look at the downloads. We just downloaded something and we want to look and find it. So here it is. This is the test file. Now you'll notice that when you download things, they just all show up in the same folder. And that can get a little cluttered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to make a new folder, and for organization's sake, and I'm going to call it FastQ. And I'm going to move my new FastQ file into that folder. So now if I go back to my downloads, I'll see I have a FastQ folder, and if I go into that folder, there's my data. Now you also notice that this file has kind of a weird extension, .gz. Now this denotes that it is a compressed file. So we won't be able to open it until we extract the files within the compression. So how we do that is we right click, we say extract here, and the files are extracted. So this was the file that was inside of that compressed folder. And so now, now I can open this. So if I right click here, I can say open with gedit, which is a popular editor, a text editor that comes with Ubuntu. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, just to see our data. So this is what our data looks like. This is FastQ. And so within this gedit, you can come in and you can edit things. You can say, instead of this T, I want it to be an A. And you can file save as. So now I have an edited FastQ that I can save into the same file. And so that's pretty much all with the editing of files. We'll get a little bit more in depth on this in the next module when we learn how to do all of this from the terminal. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And as you can see, I have my new file here. And now this file, as I click on it down below in the bottom right corner, it tells me that the file size is 5.8 megabytes. So this is a pretty small file. It's very small for FastQ data. A lot of times FastQ data comes in gigabytes or even terabytes worth of memory that it needs. So a lot of times what people will do is they will compress these files to make them easier to transfer around. So we're going to learn how to compress it. So we have our file, we can right click and just as easy as that hit say compress. And I can call it whatever I want. I have the ability to choose what my file extension will be. A lot of you who have Macs may be familiar with the .zip extension and may want to use that. With Windows, I know there's typically a RAR file, but I'm going to go ahead and just stick with GZ, and I'm going to say create. And it says it was successfully created. So now I have this edited .fq.gz, and now it's only 1.3 megabytes. So it's significantly dropped in size from 5.8 to 1.3. So that's all for the beginning part of learning about the Linux GUI. In the next module, we're going to learn how to do everything that we just did via the terminal. And if you don't know what I mean by terminal, you can go ahead right now and fire up one. If you search from that top icon for terminal. So this is terminal. And we're going to be learning how to do everything that we just did with this terminal in the next module. So see you next time.